Hello and welcome. Today we're doing a question from LeetCode called minimum value to get positive step-by-step sum. It's an easy, we're going to jump right into it. Given an array of integers nums, you start with an initial positive value called start value. In each iteration, you calculate the step-by-step sum of start value plus elements and nums from left to right. Return the minimum positive value of start value such that the step-by-step sum is never less than 1. And step-by-step sum here just means the running sum. So example 1, this is our input nums, right? We have -3, 2, -3, 4, and 2. What should our start value be? Say we go with a start value of 4. Well, what's the step-by-step sum for every single number that we come across in our input nums? In the beginning, we have -3. So if our start value is 4, to that we're just going to add -3. So we get 1 for this step over here. Now we go to our next index, and we're going to add whatever we have right now to that value. This is a step-by-step sum. It's a running sum. We're just adding everything that we've seen before to our current index's value. So 1 plus 2 is going to be 3, which means the next step is 3. The next step after that, we have -3. So we take what we have, add -3 to that. We'll zero out. Then we have 4, we go to 4, and then we have a 2, so we add 2 to that, and we get to 6. Now, this isn't going to work because we have a 0. But we wanted our step-by-step sum to never be less than 1. So if we use 5 instead, that would work. Now 5 is just 1 greater than 4, right? So that addition of 1 is just going to flow through every single step-by-step sum. Instead of 1, we now have 2. Instead of 3, we have 4. Instead of 0, we have 1. Instead of 4, we have 5. Instead of 6, we have 7. And we're never below 1 for any of the step-by-step sums, so our output is going to be 5. So example 2, we have 1 and 2. Our step-by-step sum is never actually going to go below 1. In the beginning, it's going to be 1. And then with the addition of this index over here, it's going to be 3. So we never drop below 1, which means we can use any number, but we know we have to use a positive number. So we can go with the smallest positive number, and our output is going to be 1. Example 3, we have 1, -2, and -3. So basically, we're starting off with a start value of 5. And if we add 1 to that, we'll get 6. Add -2 to that, we get 4. Add -3 to that, and we get 1. So 5 is the minimum start value needed to be at least 1 for all the step-by-step sums. Okay, so how do we want to solve this? Feel free to pause the video for like 2 seconds and actually think about how you would do this. Say we look at example 3 again. We have 1, -2, and -3. We know we don't want our step-by-step sum to fall below 1 at any point. So before figuring out what our start value should be, let's actually figure out what the step-by-step value would be at every single point without any start value, right? So right now in the beginning, it's just going to be 1. Now, if we add -2 to 1, we're going to go down to -1. And if we add -3 to -1, we go to -4. So these are our current step-by-step values for every single point in our input nums. We don't want any of this to fall below 1, but it is falling below 1, right? So we do need some sort of start value to offset this. But what would that start value be? Well, let's look at the smallest value we see over here. That's -4. So we need something that can offset -4 to be a 1. And that's going to work for every single other number as well, because remember, the numbers just flow right through. So if we pick a 5 over here as our start value, everything is going to move up by 5. This is going to become a 6, this is going to become a 4, and this is going to become a 1. So if start value is 5, 5 plus 1 is 6, 6 plus -2 is 4, and 4 plus -3 is 1. So everything over here, we're just offset by 5. Instead of 1, -1, -4, we have 6, 4, and 1. So all we need to do is figure out our running sum, our step-by-step sum, and see what the minimum is throughout this entire array. To that, we're just going to offset it until it gets to 0 and add 1 to that. That's all we need to do. So let's go ahead and code this up. To code this up, I want to keep track of my running sum. So my running sum is going to start off with 0. And I also want to keep track of the minimum step-by-step sum we see at every single point in our input nums. So our min sum is also going to start off being 0. Now we want to loop through our input nums. So for num in nums, we're going to add our number to our running sum. So running sum is going to be plus equals our current number. And we want to see if it's smaller than the minimum sum we have been holding. So min sum is just going to be the minimum of what we have so far in min sum versus this newly updated running sum. So running sum. Once we exit this loop, we'll have our minimum step-by-step value we've seen throughout this entire array. What we want to do is check if that value is negative. If it's positive, then we're good. All we need to do is return 1. But if it is negative, we just want to turn that positive and add 1 to that. So we're going to be returning negative min sum plus 1 if our min sum is less than 1. Else, if it is not less than 1, then all we need to do is return 1. So let's go ahead and submit this. And it is accepted. Now before leaving, let's just do a super quick walkthrough to see how our code is going to run line by line. So I'm going to be using example 1 over here. We have our input nums. Going through this line by line, we're going to initialize our running sum and our min sum. Both are going to start off at 0. Now for num in nums, we're iterating through our input. We start off with number being negative 3. So to running sum, we are going to add our current number, which is going to put this at negative 3. And we want to update our minimum sum. So the minimum right now is going to be between 0, min sum, and our running sum, negative 3. Negative 3 is smaller, so we're going to update min sum to be that minimum of negative 3. Going back in this for loop, we come across number 2. We're just adding 2 to our running sum, which puts us at negative 1. Now, negative 1 is not smaller than our current min sum, so we don't need to update anything. This is already a bigger negative, so if we offset this by anything that is positive to make this a positive 1, this is going to become a higher positive, right? If we add 4 to negative 3, we would get 1, but if we add 4 to negative 1, we would get positive 3. So as long as we have that minimum set and covered, all the other numbers in our step-by-step sum will also be covered. Going back in this for loop, we're now at negative 3, so updating our running sum, we have a total of negative 4. Now we want to see if we need to update min sum. Min sum is going to be the minimum of what we have right now and our running sum. Running sum is smaller, so we're updating min sum to be negative 4. Going back in this loop, we have a 4. We update our running sum to be 0. We don't need to update min sum. We go back in our input nums. We're at 2. We make an update. We're now at positive 2. And again, we don't need to update our minimum sum. So now we've gone through every single number in our input nums. The smallest step-by-step sum we've come across was negative 4. So as long as we offset that negative 4, all the other step-by-step sums will also be offset to be at least 1. So what do we want to return? We want to check if min sum is less than 1. That is true, right? It is less than 1. So we want to flip min sum to be positive. So it goes from negative 4 to 4. And we want to add 1 to it to make it 5. And that's going to be our output, right? That's exactly what we want to return. If we just offset all these numbers in our input by a 5 and calculate the step-by-step sum at every single step, every value is going to be at least 1 because we had the lowest of negative 4 that is now being offset by a 5. So talking about space and time complexity for this, for space, we are only keeping track of 2 variables, our running sum and our minimum sum. So there's going to be constant O of 1. It has no dependency on how many elements we have in our input nums. And for time, there's going to be O of n because if we have n elements in our input nums, we're going to be going through our loop a total n times. So we just went ahead and solved a minimum value to get positive step-by-step sum. We went through a couple examples, but if you have any questions, of course, let me know down below in the comments. If this video was helpful, like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really supports the channel. And as always, I will see you in the next one.